everybody. Welcome to Hillbilly Herpetology. I'm Webb. Eric's not with me right now. I'm actually working on the new enclosure for the Tegu, and I'm just wanting to show you guys what I'm doing as I'm doing it, so that way when we go to do the welcoming video, this can all be edited in, or we can just do a separate video. However we're going to do it. If you like the video, leave a like, please comment, and subscribe. Does big things for the channel. Okay, we'll be right back. All right, so what I have here, this is a 4 foot long by 2 feet deep. It was an aquarium stand. Now what I've done is I've taken the 4x4 in the middle of this for support out, because I'm not putting a heavy tank on top of it anymore. I'm taking paintable silicone and I'm putting the silicone on all of the seams, so that way I can make sure that once I finish this, all of the moisture is going to be sealed in. You can see I've still got to go around the top yet. But then I'm going to be taking this. This is damp lock. You can take damp lock, you can take dry lock, it's just different brands. And this is masonry waterproofing paint. This is usually used on concrete, and my good friend over in PAG and the partner of the channel let me know that this is what he uses inside of his enclosures. He uses the dry lock. I figured out that the damp lock is the same thing, and this is what they had at Walmart, so that's what I grabbed. So I got the paintable caulk that'll dry in 20 minutes, and I'm gonna put a coat on here soon as I get the top part of it done, and we will be back with more. Okay, so here we are. We have our first coat of the paint on, or I should say the sealer on. And one thing that I did notice is that in a couple of spots where I've put the caulk already, I can see after putting the sealer on that I need to put a little bit more caulk in those spots. So make sure that as you're doing this, you watch for those. And as you guys can also tell, I'm gonna have to put several coats on this, which is fine. I just want the water to not get into the wood. And that's where we're at. All right, so this is where we are now. We have over here a hole cut into the top, and what I did with this is I just use an old dog crate, the divider that was in it, and cut it out with wire snips. And then I've taken and drilled holes in here and used like some kind of wiring that they use at work to hold bells together. I just cut pieces of that, and I've put it through the holes that I've drilled, and I've used that to hold this platform into place. This is where the light will go. Now, I could have got zip strips, and I could have got chicken wire, but all of that costs money, and we're trying to do this the hillbilly way. We're trying to do this as cheap as possible. Now, right here, we have the inside. This has been painted with multiple coats of the dry lock. We have no worries with any moisture soaking into the wood now. So the next step that I'm doing is I've got a couple of ledges that I'm going to put in right here. And they're going to come up probably 4 inches high. And what that's for is that's because we're going to have substrate inside of this. And we don't want that substrate to be falling out onto the floor anytime the doors get opened. So we need to have a divider in there. And thank God that Eric recently put one of these together, obviously not exactly the same as this, but something similar. And he was like, hey, you should think of putting something in there for this, because I was going through this problem. Every time I open the door, stuff's falling out. I wish I would have done that. So luckily for me, he was able to turn me on to the idea of doing that. And I'm like, yeah, that's actually a great idea. I didn't do that in the salve enclosure, and it's always coming out on me. So we're getting close. Okay, here we go. I have the locks on. I have the light in place. And we have a little step up there to where the soil and the substrate will not be coming out. So now I just have to wait for everything to dry, and then tomorrow we'll finish up the rest of this video by setting the enclosure up and getting Winona in here. And I do maybe think about maybe thinking about painting the outside, but at the same time, I mean, if you see this thing, it's built for working, not for beauty. Now, I know you guys are thinking wet. Why'd you put where you tied the wires on the outside instead of on the inside? And some people might just say, oh, because he didn't want the animal to hurt themselves on this. And yeah, there's the chance she could get up to that and hurt herself. My big worry is that I've dealt with all of these intelligent lizards too much. I know exactly how they are. I feel like she would sit and work at this if it was on the inside until she got it loose. And that's what we're trying to avoid. So I really do feel like there's no way she's getting out of this thing when it's locked. Like it's pretty solid. So we'll finish up tomorrow.
All right, mate. What we have here today, this Sheila here is a beautiful, beautiful,
What did he call them?
goanna. It's a goanna.
No, this is a New World monitor. This is a Tegu. And this is our enclosure that we've been working on for the last few days. We finally got it all ready for it. Now, I don't know how for sure I'm gonna end up with this basking spot over here. This is just for now. I need to be able to temp it later. I wanna see exactly what temperatures it's getting, but I've got it to where she can get up higher or stay down lower. We've got a hide underneath this flat brick surface here that she can get underneath. We've got our water bowl over here in the corner. We've got our hot side, we've got our cool side, and yeah, this is slightly small for her. But that being said, she's also getting ready to go into brumation, where she's just gonna sleep for the whole spring, or the whole summer until winter until the spring. And we're planning on moving in the spring, and so there's no point in getting her a big old enclosure that she's just gonna sleep in and then having to move that enclosure. So this is what we're sticking with until springtime. Now, I'm gonna put her in here and see how she likes the new place. For the last few days, she's just kind of been hanging out in an aquarium without really having a great setup. But we knew we had this coming for her. She's got a bit of stuck shed on the tail that we're gonna work on over the next few weeks, but getting here in this high humidity area is gonna be great. Now, I've got the light going. Like I said, I have not 100% tested the basking surface to see what temperature it's gonna be. This is a mercury vapor bulb. It does both UVB and heat. It's 160 watts maybe, but which I thought was pretty warm. But then when I had just this surface down here, it seemed like it was a bit too far from the light. So as I always say, build your basking platform up closer to the light if that happens. I'll test it later. And unfortunately, I can't go any closer to the light if it's not the temperature that I want it to be. But what I can do is I can just get a bigger bulb, move these out of the way, and then just have this platform down here. So we're still playing with that. We'll give you an update on that when it's finished. And of course, Winona will be a featured part in our videos from now on. I would like to extend a big thank you to the gentleman who let us buy her. We got a great deal on her. And I would also say that they did a great job with her. And I do want to reference the fact her name was Rosetta, and they told us we could change it. We thought about it, and we both, Eric and I, really like the Winona. And the cool thing about Winona is she's an Argentine Tegu, and Winona is a name from Argentine. So it worked out well. We like it. And she's just so chill. Look, I put her in here and she's like, oh, I'm not even really gonna go look around right now. I'm just gonna sit exactly where you put me. It's crazy. But we're gonna close it up, give her a chance to see the whole little area here by herself and see what she thinks. And this is how you build an enclosure the hillbilly way.